of you to our service this morning. It's nice to see all of you on this beautiful autumn day. It is really, really nice outside. And what I will say is what I say each week, that you will leave here feeling better than when you came in, okay? So that's my promise to you this morning, okay? So having said all of that, it is now time for us to have our spiritual mind treatment. So please help me welcome Shonda Fields, our licensed practitioner. She's going to share.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So if you all would just close your eyes and open yourself up. This is a spiritual mind treatment for each and every person in this room. As we breathe into our body, we acknowledge God is, I am. We acknowledge the divine presence that flows in, through us, around us, right here, right now. We connect with this truth, knowing that we are not separate. Knowing this truth right here, right now, we know that all is well, and we give thanks. In this moment, as we breathe into our body, knowing that God works through us, we give thanks for everything that's taking place in our life. We give thanks for what we have, we give thanks for what we don't have, and we give thanks for the contrast. Father God, acknowledging you that you are the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, and this is our truth. Each person in this room understands this truth, and they know that they walk with you. As they move through this day, they walk in gratitude. They see with their spiritual eyes and they hear with their spiritual ears, knowing that you are always speaking to us through everything that is around us, and we give thanks. Each person in this room understands that they are part of something much bigger than themselves. They understand that life is happening for them and not to them. Right here, right now, every person is saying thank you. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for the gift of contrast. Thank you for everything that's taking place in our lives today. As we move forward through this week, each and every person is just in a state of gratitude for everything that's around them, giving thanks for the small things in their lives. They know that when they connect with the divine presence, that is the truth of who they are, they can do all things. Right here, right now. If there's any thoughts of anxiety, fear, unworthiness, is uprooted, neutralized, and dissolved and replaced with peace. Peace knowing that they are made in the image of likeness of God. Peace knowing that everything is working out for their highest good. This is the truth for each and every person in this room. Each and every person accepts this truth, releasing this back into law, and so it is. Amen.
And that sets the tone for our lesson this morning. Thank you. Beautiful spiritual mind treatment. And now it is my pleasure also to welcome Emily Howard. She's our licensed practitioner, and she will be doing the reading this morning. So please welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. My selection is from Louise Hay and Friends, Gratitude, A Way of Life. Bless It All by Julie Keene. Gratitude and trust are closely related. In order to be thankful for everyone and everything in my life, I need to trust that the universe makes sense, that everything my soul has chosen to experience this lifetime has been for my ultimate highest good. I trust that when it appears I'm failing, I'm only learning. I make a great effort to bless my life just as it is, both the so-called triumphs and disasters. A line from Kipling's poem, If, often comes to mind. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat these two impostors just the same. When I remind myself that I am a student in Earth School, choosing those lessons that enhance my soul's purpose, it's possible to more readily bless every circumstance of my life. Of course, from a more unenlightened segment of myself, I sometimes wonder, why did I choose this particular misery? Yet gratitude for and trust in the ultimate justice of the universe is the best antidote for the poisonous emotions of self-pity and resentment. I find it impossible to experience gratitude and negative emotions simultaneously. Author Elizabeth Kubler-Ross reminds us, Should you shield the canyons from the windstorms, you would never see the beauty of their carvings. I've learned to bless and give thanks for the windstorms that have shaped my life. Looking back over my life, I can see the beauty that the windstorms have carved. I trust current and future challenges to facilitate additional soul growth. My heart is filled with gratitude for all the people and events in my life because I now understand their higher purpose. My heart overflows with gratitude for the divine love that enfolds, guides, protects, and sustains us all.
Thank you, Emily. That was a very beautiful reading from Louise Hay's book on gratitude, which is one of my favorites. Thank you so much. So now it's time for our announcements. So you have in your program this morning a self-mastery class that I will be teaching. I'm starting that next Sunday. Which one I just remembered that. So next Sunday we'll start the class, and it's going to be wonderful. We're having the book called Your Miracle Morning. We're going to use Science of Mind principles that I'll be teaching that class with that book. I already have about 11 or 12 people that have signed up, so it's going to be a wonderful class. We'll be taught here on Sunday from 12:30 until about 2 o'clock or so. So, and you know what? It's not every week. You'll have a little bit of a breather. It's the first 3 weeks. The calendar is in there. So, and we'll finish up the second week in December. It is accredited. You do get credit for it. So it's going to be a blessing. Trust me. I think this is what I'm putting into law right now because I'm saying that I really believe that this will be one of the best classes I've ever taught. I do believe that because of what I've learned from the book and practicing it every day. And I want to share it with you so that you can share it with yourself and other people. If you can't take the class, get the book anyway. It's a wonderful book. It really is. So, having said all of that, we are starting our Wednesday night classes again. They will begin on October 11th. We're going to have a series done by practitioners. Our licensed practitioners will be doing them. The first one will be done by Barbara Munlin, and she's going to begin on October 11th for 3 consecutive Wednesdays. And as we go along, there will be other practitioners involved in this. It's going to be on visioning. We'll have more information for you next week, okay? So it's still at the Universalist Center over on West 76th Street. So we'll be there again. And we keep thinking and knowing that another space will emerge that will be a little bit better for all of us because we love that space, but we just want another space. So we're sending love and blessings to that space. That's how we outpicture something else. Okay, enough of all of this now. Let's wish each other a happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Nice way to start the day. Let go of all the stuff and just wish each other happiness, right? So now it is a pleasure for me to introduce to you our wonderful guest artist this morning, the Levins. They have some CDs back there on the table if you'd like to buy them. They are really wonderful artists, and you will know that in just a moment. So please welcome them.
So we're going to start off with a song called
Child in Space.
And we start by just singing Ooze, and we hope that you will join us on that. Ooh, 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 ooh.
You can sing it lower
That's it.
too.
We're all part of a child in space. One body, one heart, one race. We're
We're all atoms dancing face to face, and the bond that we can't see between us, it keeps us in this place. While the left hand wrestles with the right, the belly goes hungry, eyes shut tight. But if I could reach across the great divide, our tears would become nourishment and heal us from inside. And the darkness would fade if I could hasten the day. All right, here we go.
Here's that part.
We're all part of a child in space. One body, one heart, one race. We're all atoms dancing face to face, and the bond that we can see between us, it keeps us in this place. One body, one heart, one race.
Told you. They are really wonderful. The harmony that comes from them is so beautiful and so uplifting and so inspirational. And so I want to start my talk this morning. The words that come through me are, God in the midst of me. God is in the midst of me. Let's say that together. God is in the midst of me. And whatever you think about yourself, recognizing, knowing, understanding, and accepting that God is in the midst of you. And that God is blessing you all of the time. Not some of the time, but all of the time. And so I want to start out this morning with a message from a wonderful teacher who I think has blessed us so many times, Maya Angelou. She said, "People will forget what you say. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel." And that's really the essence of the talk this morning. We are talking about gratitude and validation and how to validate not only others but ourselves, and how to be grateful that God is in the midst of us, that God is always blessing, uplifting, inspiring, and encouraging us. Our theme for this month has been about gratitude. What are you grateful for? What are you appreciating in your life? And yes, stuff happens. The world is very challenged right now. Whether we want to look at it that way or look at it another way, however you'd like to look at it, that's your choice. But there are a lot of challenges going on, and I get a lot of calls and people say, well, how do I work with this? Well, you work with it by appreciating who you are and appreciating God in the midst of you and being grateful for everything that you do have. We had a wonderful talk here last week that was done by Shonda, and she spoke about the contrast. And I kind of want to go into that a little bit this morning, along with something from Thomas Troward. I never used to read Thomas Troward because he's very difficult. Anybody read Thomas Troward? Yes. For me, anyway. Some people say, oh no, it's a breeze, I love Thomas Troward. That's not how I get Thomas Troward. Thomas Troward, for me, is extremely intellectual, brilliant thinker. He wrote this book in 1915 called The Creative Process in the Individual. And that's the only book of his that I can really read and kind of understand if I take my time. I have to take my time with Troward. Because it's not something that you read like you're reading an article from a magazine. It's something that you really have to digest and get clarity about and get clear about. And Chandra was speaking last week about the contrast. And so what I gleaned from Troward with regard to that, the contrast that we are always living with, he said back in 1915, which this is really what struck me. He said, human beings are always looking for certainty. And that's why they have so much fear. Think about it. He said, we're looking for certainty in everything that we have in life. Relationships, yes. Money, jobs, work. And now it seems as if our earthly planet is being challenged more than ever before in some aspects. Whether, wherever you look sometimes. But what he is saying there is that you have to let go of or work toward letting go of the need for certainty and go to spirit. And go to spirit, because spirit is what gives you everything that you need at every point in time. There is a spiritual identification, and he goes on to talk about the idea of evolution. Not evolution, evolution. Not evolution, evolution. Evolution. Yeah, that's spirit playing with me, right? Having fun. Evolution, okay. So when you are evolving spiritually, you are creating with God. You are grateful for what you have in your life. Yes, things happen. Yes, we have challenges. And yes, sometimes it's more difficult than other times. And that's when we do our treatment work, and that's when we continue with our spiritual practice. Continuing, living with contrast. Contrast means that there are things that come up for us that we really don't want to look at. We don't want them to be a part of our lives. But it's the way we handle it. It's not what happens to us. It's the way we handle what happens to us. How are you handling whatever it is that you may be going through? I turned on the television, I'm telling on myself this week, and what came out of that television was there was an earthquake that all of you know about in Mexico. We've been going through immense things with weather. It's just been amazing. And what I recognized in that was something for me to treat about. And I began to do treatment work, and I began to treat. And that's what we need to do. We need to keep our treatment work up. Reverend Jane Brendel used to say, up your treatment. Up your treatment. Continue to make your treatment more important to you than the actual challenge that you are going through. Express your gratitude for whatever it is. Really express your gratitude. Become in alignment with the spirit that is within you. It is always there for you. And I loved the reading this morning, and I loved also the treatment this morning, because we recognize that God is always for us. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And when you get out of that mindset of life is always happening to me, why is this happening to me? How many people have ever said that? Be honest. Okay, it's unanimous. I've said it myself. Why is this always happening to me? You begin to let go of that as an idea, and you begin to say, life happens for me. Life happens through me. This young man that helps me, I have a house down toward the shore area, and he helps me do a lot of work in the house. He's very, very good, and he does painting and different things. And I have people that are tenants living there. And I won't go into that right now, trust me. But I will say that he has been very helpful. And I spoke to him this week, and this is a lesson in gratitude. He had a little accident at work. He had some challenges with his fingers. He said, I'm so grateful that I have 8 fingers that are working, even though the other 2 are not. And I thought, wow, he's not even in the teaching, and that's how he feels about something. Pretty amazing, you see? So what are you grateful for? The way to be grateful is to find something to appreciate. Appreciate yourself, you see? Because when you appreciate yourself and you value yourself, then you have more to give to other people. If you walk around every day telling yourself how everything is not working and yada, 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 you do not value yourself. You have to begin to value yourself and to outpicture greater things. Thomas Troward was speaking about the role of evolution, and he talks about something that he calls the fifth kingdom. And he says that race consciousness or race thought is always identifying with something. We're always identifying, well, I'm this, and I'm that, and you're not that, and you're not this. And that takes us away from our spiritual identity. And if we could come back to that spiritual identity and get who we are, and begin to work with it, and let go of what's going on out there, the more you can let go of the limitations, the freer you become. And people will come to you in your daily life and they will try to tell you what's right for you. They will try to tell you what's wrong with the world. And you can choose, you always have choice. And you can let go and allow the Spirit within you to guide you and direct you. You can say yes to life, yes to the more of life. If you are focusing on what you don't have, you will get more of it, as sure as I'm standing here. If you will begin to focus on the more of life, that God is blessing you each and every day, God in the midst of you, God is right where you are. You can call it whatever you would like to call it. You don't have to call it God. You can call it divine intelligence. You can call it the spiritual idea within me. Whatever it is that you call it, it is responding to you all of the time. My teacher, Dr. Grayson, used to say, it's not the principle that needs to change. It's our awareness of the principle that needs to change. Because the more we become aware of it, the more we have gratitude for it, the greater it becomes in our life, and the greater it works for us. Thomas Troward, back in 1915, had so many amazing ideas about principle and how it works in your life. And he said, you do not evolve by listening to people. You evolve by listening to the spiritual identity within you. You evolve, you have a healing, you have a revealing of health and wholeness and appreciation. I've been working with someone, this is another lesson for me. I've been working with someone who is, in my eyes, very, very blessed, very fortunate. However, his opinion is not the same as mine. You see, that happens. You ever meet someone like that? You think, wow, they have so much, and yet they really think they have so little. So what are you thinking for yourself? Everyone here this morning is blessed. Receive the blessing. Know that you are blessed every day. God is in the midst of me. How do you begin your day? The course that I am teaching is really about how you begin your day. What are you claiming for yourself? More problems or more joy? More peace of mind? I watched a wonderful, wonderful entertainment special last night called The Global Citizen, which was right here in New York City. And I watched Stevie Wonder. What a blessing that man is to the planet. And here's a man who has really not seen in his life. He's a musical genius. He bestowed upon that audience so much joy. People were just everyone. Global citizen. I love that as an idea. It's very enriching. It's very uplifting. Music is also the universal language. When you listen to music that's good for you, it uplifts you, it inspires you, and it blesses you. And you can be grateful for something wonderful. When you listen to different news media, not so much. Not so much. Turn it off. Watch what you let into your life. That's the message this morning. And be grateful for all of the good that is already in your life. Chandra was saying last week, which was so interesting, be grateful for what you have and what you don't have. Because the more that you constantly say, well, I don't have this, or the other thing that we do when we're not grateful is we get to a place where we say, well, why do they have all this and I don't have it? Anybody ever do that one? No, I didn't think so. We all do that. It's a part of human nature. But the quicker you can get yourself out of that mindset, the better you are. That's what this teaching is about. It's taking you to a new level of consciousness. This is what Troward was speaking about. He said we all have our own identity. We are all identifying with a race, but the true race is the spiritual race. The spiritual identification within us, which allows us to come together and be together and enjoy one another and be grateful for each other. Rather than putting each other down and being so angry and so upset, that does not serve anyone. And let me tell you something. I've been in this teaching a very long time. And the one thing that will block you more than anything else is resentment and anger. Those are the two factors that will take you away from spirit very, very quickly. How do I know that? Because I've been there and I've done it. I know it. It doesn't work. You ever try to work, you get really angry and you start yelling and screaming, you really think spirit is going to be there in the mix with you? Spirit is love. It is pure love. And the more you can let it in, talking about this morning, the more you can open yourself to it, the more gratitude opens you to your spirituality. You have an identification. Be with it. Be one with it. Let go of what is being told to you. You know, Emerson, I picked up Emerson this week, another one, Ralph, for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about. And Ralph is a great guy. Ralph is somebody who is another intellectual. He wrote The Oversoul, he wrote essays on self-reliance, and I really, really like what he said. He said, be encouraged by that which is within you, not by the news media, not by the noise you are being given by others. Allow yourself to go within. Get clarity about what it is that you'd like to have. You see, so many times we spend our time, our valuable time. And the more that I'm getting a little bit older, the more I'm realizing something Michael Ferguson spoke about many, many months ago. Time is very valuable. It really is. So how are you spending it? You see, you spend time the same way you spend money, the same way you spend your energy. I spoke about this a while ago. Energy is also something we spend. We think we only spend money. We spend energy. How do you spend your energy? Do you spend it in alignment with this power and this presence which is glorifying you and giving to you? Or do you spend it saying no to life? This is all I have, poor me. And then you sit in a room and you tell yourself, poor me, this is what happened to me. Or do you get up and inspire yourself and have inspired action within you that blesses, uplifts, and inspires you? Inspired action is spiritual action. It's not relative action, and there's a difference. Relativity comes from the human mind. The spirituality comes from your identification with spirit. And when we identify with spirit, everything opens up for us. We are blessed, we are uplifted, we are inspired and transformed. The teacher Jesus said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renewing your mind every day. That's what I'm doing in this class that I'm teaching. I am working with all of us to renew our minds. You're not going to get renewal out there. Did you try that? How's that working? It doesn't work. They don't renew your mind. Do you ever go outside and talk to people out there? Are they renewing your mind? I don't think so. I know the people in my world, some of them are not renewing my mind. I can say that very honestly. People in my family, different people. And I have to go within. This is what Ralph Waldo Emerson was talking about. You must go within. Go to spirit with whatever the dilemma may be. Get a spiritual mind treatment. Get a practitioner to work with you on another level. Because when people come to me and they say, well, Loretta, I have this happening, I can't agree with that. I can't agree with the illness or the challenge or the financial lack. I have to have a new idea. And that's what you have to do. You have to be grateful every day. How do you want to spend the next 5 years of your life? How do you want to spend them? You want to spend them in negation? Or do you want to spend them knowing that the rest of your life will be the best of your life? You see, we use all kinds of excuses. I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that. Whatever it may be, let it all go into the nothingness from whence it came and from where it came. Not only whence, but where. You may have gotten a lot of ideas about yourself from people. You need to let them go, and you need to breathe new life into yourself and know that you are blessed and inspired from within to co-create with God a new life, a new identity, a new freedom and ease in living. Each and every one of us in this room is so richly blessed. Being grateful, gratitude. Gratitude is a wonderful thing. I have a sign up in my living room. I think Rick made it many years ago, and I still have it there by my television. And when the wrong television comes on, I have to turn it off, and I have to look at my gratitude sign. Grateful. I am grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my health and well-being. Each area of your life, show some gratitude. Relationships. If your relationships are not what you would like them to be, if you keep complaining about that, you'll get more. If you start to change your ideas about it, you will change your life. If you begin to change your identity from identifying with the world as we know it, with race consciousness, to that spirituality that is within you, that is always moving you forward, onward, and upward in consciousness. My teacher used to say that all the time. We are forward-moving thinkers, and we need to get new ideas about ourselves and have gratitude for all that we are, because we are so richly blessed, so inspired from within, each and every one of us. I want to share with you some other ideas that I have from the creative process in the individual. And Thomas Troward, as I said before, he is really an amazing, amazing teacher. He says, a standard of personality independent of individual conceptions must be the essence of personality, as distinguished from individuality, and therefore be nothing else than the creative life, love, beauty, viewed as a divine individuality. When we identify ourselves with spirit, we eliminate the possibility of conflict with other personalities. And the very universality of this standard allows us free play. We have found that the self-contemplation of spirit must give rise to all of our good expectations. In this way, we attain a standard of measurement for our own power. He's talking about the power that is within us, recognizing it, accepting it, and working with it. And you know, I hear all of these stories about you have to plug the power in. And I used to believe that, but now I know that the power is within us. You don't even have to plug it in. It's always there. But the more you recognize it, the more you correspond with it, the more blessed you will become. It's always there for us. It's there in the music, it's there in the reading, it's there in the teaching, in the spirituality, in the spiritual mind treatment. We are so blessed, each and every one of us. We must know that. Renew yourself on a daily basis. It was St. Paul who said, I die daily. And some people thought, what is he talking about? He dies daily? He's not talking about the physical self. He's talking about dying to the ideas of negation. He dies daily to old ideas. He lets go of the old and brings in the new. Every day we bring in the new possibilities. It may look the same, but as you work with this principle, everything becomes new. You become new. You know, the medical profession says that every 90 days we have all new cells. Is that true? Yes?
Yeah.
So that means then that as we work with our minds, we are also changing everything about ourselves. What are you looking forward to during the day? Look forward to gratitude, being grateful for everything that you have in your life. And when you show gratitude and express it, you will have more. There's another person that I never used to resonate with that much, and that's Esther Hicks. There's a wonderful, wonderful thing that she does. I don't resonate with her that much, but I do resonate with this idea, and I'm going to share it with you because it's wonderful. It's something to appreciate. She's on YouTube, and she says, everything is always working out for me. I love that. If you go online and you go on YouTube, look up Esther Hicks, everything is always working out for me. It's really beautiful. Because what she's doing is she's clarifying consciousness. This is really our teaching also. And she's telling all of us to think and know that everything is always working out for us. You see? This is Dr. Grayson. He used to say, despite appearances. Same thing that she's saying. She uses the word contrast, but it's an appearance. It's the same thing. It's the way you handle that. It's the way that you walk through life. You see? When you get a challenge, how are you walking with it? Are you walking with it with hysteria or anger or fear? Or are you walking with it with encouragement and love and knowing that it is an appearance and that you are releasing it and dissolving it into the nothingness from whence it came? She says, everything is always working out for me. Let's say that together. Everything is always working out for me. You see, I want you, when you go home this week, to look that up on YouTube and to listen to it because it's wonderful. She says so many wonderful things in that particular one. Some of the other things on there, not so much for me. You may like some of them, but I love that. I really, really love it. It's wonderful. Do what you can for yourself every day to nourish yourself. Do what you can for yourself every day. Bless yourself, listen to music, find out what makes you happy and do more of it. Not less, more. You see? Whatever you love to do more of it. It's so easy. Do more of it. Don't aggravate yourself. If you get aggravated, go into a room, close the door, and be one with Spirit. Say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for allowing me to be blessed, uplifted, inspired, and encouraged. I am grateful, you see. And I know that that word is used a lot, and a lot of people don't believe in it. I truly believe in it because I think gratitude is appreciation. Gratitude is validation. This is what Maya Angelou was talking about when she said, people will never forget when you make them feel good because you're validating them. And when you validate yourself, you're doing the same thing for yourself. We have been taught in our religions or our upbringing that we're not supposed to do that. You see? You're not supposed to say that you're a good person or a wonderful person or you really have some kind of knowledge about something. No. You're supposed to just stand there and say, no, I don't really know anything. You're supposed to be like a non-entity sometimes. That's not what we're teaching. We are teaching you to be able to say yes to life, to be able to inspire yourself and bless yourself and bless other people. The love that you give out to others comes back multiplied abundantly. Whatever you put into circulation in your life comes back to you multiplied abundantly. Value yourself. It's like you have a thermostat. And if you keep your thermostat personally on, 30 below, it's not good, right? You're going to be cold. You're going to be very cold. And if you start raising the temperature up and you get it up around 50 or 60, you're going to feel a little better. 70, 80, that might be just comfortable for you. Raise the thermostat. Allow yourself to value yourself. And the other question I have for you this morning is, and this is a big one for me too, what are you waiting for? I talked about this a while ago. This is coming through me again. We wait and we wait and we wait, don't we? Anybody ever do that one? Yeah. We're waiting for this to happen. We're waiting, I'll do that when I'm fill in the blank. I'll do that when I'm fill in the blank. We can all fill in the blanks, But we have to begin to do something every day. Just do it. Inspired action. Next month we're going to be talking about inspiration. Inspiration is very, very powerful. And the way you inspire yourself is by your true identity, spiritual identification. I am so grateful for this center, for this community. I cannot tell you in my own words what a blessing I have received from it, from all of you, from the work that I do. It has been a blessing for me, and I'm aware of that, very aware of it. I'm aware that a lot of people in the world that don't have this teaching are very, very challenged. We have something that works. Don't wait. Begin today, and then begin again. And the other message I have for you is, if you miss a day or two, I just went to my yoga class on Saturday. I hadn't been there in 11 days, and let me tell you, it hurt. It hurt a lot. And my teacher said, Loretta, what's up with you? You don't see? I said, I haven't done yoga in 11 days. But the difference is now, I'm not beating myself up about it. I'm just saying, okay, Loretta, you've got to get back into this because it hurts when you don't do it. It really hurts, and I don't want to hurt, you see? So inspire yourself, bless yourself, motivate yourself, and then correct yourself. But don't put yourself down. Don't say, oh, I did that dumb thing again, or whatever. Do not put yourself down because you're spending your energy in the wrong way. Again, you have to learn how to spend your energy the same way you learn how to spend your money, you see? Your energy is so valuable. So if I go off on a tangent about how I haven't exercised and I'm back into this and that and I'm being, that's what I'm going to get, and I don't want that. I want to be grateful that I did the yoga, that I will continue to do the yoga. And if I mess up, I will correct myself. Gentle correction. You see? Gentle correction. It makes a lot of difference. Because when you beat yourself up and you get into that kind of feeling mode, everything changes in your consciousness. You cannot attract what you are not willing to be. You see? If you are willing to be responsible, I know a lot of people right in this very room who are extremely responsible, caring, they do a lot of work, they're very nurturing, and they're very successful. They're very successful. They have to know that about themselves. You have to know that about yourself. Don't give up on yourself because you messed up. I'm not giving up on myself because I didn't do yoga for 11 days. I just didn't do it, and that's the end of it. You see? It reminds me of the example that I used to give a long time ago about I'd see people in the supermarket and they'd have boxes of tissues. You ever see that? So they have a cold, but they bought 10 boxes of tissues because they're planning to have that cold for a long time. You see? So I used to look at them and I didn't say anything. I'm not going to go over them and say, what are you planning to have a long time cold or something? No. But what I am doing is recognizing that if I get a cold, all I need is one box of tissues because it'll be over soon. See? It's the same thing. I'm making this example to you so you can understand what we do with our feelings. And our feeling nature is what attracts or repels. You see? So the more time you spend in the stuff, you're not getting the goodies. That's the problem. Remember the cold. You don't need lots of tissues, you see? You just don't, because you're not going to keep the cold that long. And if you're out of work or something's happened to you and you're challenged, it's not going to be that long, because you're going to work, you're going to get a new job, you're going to have all kinds of wonderful things happening to you. You have to get clear about that, you have to know it, and you have to begin to express your gratitude for what is on its way to you. And maybe it's for what it's not on its way right now, but it's on its way. Just accept it, love it, bless it, encourage it. Gratitude. That's what gratitude does for us. Gratitude calls us. And when we answer the call with more gratitude and more appreciation, we are blessed. And when you have this teaching at a very young age, and I see that we have a young person in our audience today, which is a blessing, because when people begin at a young age to get this kind of work, they are blessed beyond belief. When they begin to change their consciousness, we're all blessed. Age doesn't matter, but when you're young and you get this teaching, you don't have to go through some of this stuff. Because we have been given a lot of stuff and we've got to be willing to let go of it. In the moment, let it go. Okay? So Troward has taught us a very valuable lesson. He talks about evolution, evolving. We are always evolving. Remember who you are, and remember that you are always being blessed. You are always being blessed with gratitude. And I want to share something again with you about gratitude. This is from Dr. Robert Holden. He says, the miracle of gratitude is that it shifts your perception to such an extent that it changes the world you see. Gratitude brings you clarity, and when you are clear, you know what to let go of. Did you hear that? When you are clear, when you have clarity, you know what to let go of. If you're in anger or fear or confusion, you don't know what to let go of. You're in the mire. You're in the vortex of all of that stuff. And it's not good for you. But when you have clarity, when you have the presence of mind, think about the presence of mind. What is the presence of mind? It is that spiritual presence. I just thought of that. The presence of mind is the presence that gives you the gift. It gives you the key to the kingdom. When you are present with the divine, you get clarity. When you are present with the human mind and all of its limitations, you don't get the clarity. Go to spirit, get the clarity, and then be grateful. And know that you are being blessed all of the time. Not some of the time, but all of the time. How many people in here begin each day with a prayer or gratitude or something wonderful? Yeah, because that changes everything for your day. You may still meet up with some characters. I've met a few in the last couple of weeks. I think we all meet some characters. We're probably characters ourselves, right? But that's okay, because we recognize the blessings, you know? The challenges that we have to recognize them and let them go and know. Someone shared with me a couple of weeks ago, bless people. When someone is challenging you, send them a blessing instead of going to that reaction, because that reaction doesn't serve us. Bless them, bless them, bless them. And bless yourself. Don't leave yourself out of the equation. That's my message for you today. Bless yourself each and every day. Turn up your thermostat. Make yourself comfortable. Be comfortable in your own skin. Be blessed in your own skin. And be grateful for who and what you are. Because you are so much more than you ever realize. You are so much more. Because we are all spiritual beings. And we are all able to use this power in a constructive and wonderful way. So I am just so grateful for each and every one of you, and so blessed. And I am grateful for this lesson this morning, for the music, for the wonderful reading, and also for the spiritual mind treatment, for everybody. I'm just very grateful. Yoichi and Rick and everybody here who does so much for us. Barbara, Fanny. I just call out Shonda, everybody who is doing so much for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all. And I wish you a very blessed week. And if I were you, I'd take the class. But I'm not. I'm just grateful. I never did that before. That's okay. That's okay. That's growth, right? Is that what they call that, growth? Okay. So, we have the prayer for September in most of the inserts. So we're going to say our prosperity affirmation.
So we came around the corner this morning, and I said, "Oh no, Ira, we're coming to CSL without a net," which means I did not pull off a parking coupon, which I usually do for that one right down the street, just in case. And he said, "Well, let's treat for it. So we come out across this street over one of these streets over here.
Usually if we park over there,
Yeah.
we have to schlep all of our stuff
Schlep everything
over
around,
there.
but I always take the first one. And a woman got the parking spot right before I got there. So I was like, oh no, that was the one. He's like, treat for it. We come right around the corner, and we're literally parked across the street. Woohoo! Unbelievable. I just sat there in awe, like, oh my gosh. So grateful.
Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me, you owe me. And look what you can do with a love like that. Lights up the whole sky. High, 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 high. I give to you and you give to me. It raises us up and allows us to see. I give to you and you give too, and it frees me. I can see me and you. Even after all this time, the river never says to the sea, you owe me, you owe me. And look what you can do with a love like that. It covers the whole earth with life. High, 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 high. I give to you and you
us
up
up
and allows us to see. I give to you and you give too, and it frees me. I can see me and you. When I give, then I get so much more than I give. When I give, then I get so much more than I give. When I give, then I get so much more. When I give, then I get so much more than I give. When I give, then I get so much more. When I give, then I get so much more than I give. When I give, then I get so much more. When I give, then I get so much more than I give. When I give, then I get so much more. Look what you can do with a love like this. It covers the whole sky with bliss. High, 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 high. I give to you and you give to me. It raises us up and allows us to see. I give to you and you give too, and it frees me. I can see me and you. And it frees me. I can see me and you. Even after all this time,